Did Jesus travel to India and learn from Buddhism? What if the teachings of Jesus, the cornerstone of Christianity, were influenced by Buddhism? Could it be possible that the man who preached love and compassion was also shaped by Eastern philosophies? Let's dive into this intriguing and controversial theory. Today, we're exploring two sides of a compelling debate. Did Jesus travel to India and learn from Buddhism? Some argue that there are cultural and philosophical connections suggesting shared wisdom, while others believe the differences in core beliefs make this idea implausible. We'll dissect both perspectives, diving deep into historical evidence, theological implications, and cultural exchanges. Here's side one argument. Jesus as an influence seeker. In the time of Jesus, trade routes like the Silk Road connected the Mediterranean to the East, facilitating the exchange of ideas. Some historians suggest that Jesus could have encountered Eastern philosophies during his formative years. Here's an example. The writings of travelers such as Marco Polo highlight the interconnectedness of civilizations. This suggests that the teachings of Buddhism and Hinduism were not entirely isolated from early Christianity. The Lost Years of Jesus by Elizabeth Clare Prophet discusses the possibility of Jesus traveling to India, citing parallels in moral teachings. 2. Thematic similarities. There are striking thematic similarities between Jesus' teachings and those found in Buddhism. Concepts like compassion, love for one's neighbor, and the pursuit of inner peace resonate in both traditions. Here's an example. The Golden Rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, can be found in both teachings, suggesting a shared ethical foundation. Karen Armstrong's The Great Transformation explores these commonalities across religions. Point 3. Influence of Eastern thought on early Christianity. Scholars argue that early Christianity was influenced by surrounding philosophical ideas, including those from Eastern religions. The Gospel of Thomas, a non-canonical text, contains sayings that reflect Buddhist thought, such as the emphasis on self-knowledge and inner enlightenment, suggesting that early Christians may have drawn from a wider pool of spiritual wisdom. Here's a reference. Elaine Pagel's work on the Gnostic text sheds light on how these writings show a blend of ideas prevalent in the time. Argument 4. Philosophical concepts of suffering. Both Jesus and the Buddha address the nature of suffering, albeit from different angles. Here's an example. Jesus spoke about suffering as a part of the human experience that can lead to redemption, while the Buddha outlined the Four Noble Truths, which detail the nature of suffering and the path to its cessation. The Heart of the Buddha's Teaching by Thich Nhat Hanh discusses these concepts, illustrating their philosophical parallels. Side 2. The unlikelihood of influence. Counterargument 1. Lack of historical evidence. While the idea of Jesus being influenced by Buddhism is intriguing, historical evidence supporting this claim is virtually non-existent. Example. Most biblical scholars agree that there is no credible documentation of Jesus traveling to India, Nepal, or Tibet. John Dominic Crossan emphasizes that the historical Jesus is best understood within the context of first-century Jewish culture. Reference. Crossan's The Historical Jesus provides a comprehensive view of Jesus' life grounded in Jewish tradition, negating the need for Eastern connections. Now for the counterargument 2. Fundamental theological differences. The foundational beliefs of Buddhism and Hinduism are fundamentally at odds with Jesus' teachings. Example. Hinduism's concept of reincarnation and Buddhism's focus on the non-self contradict the Christian belief in a personal God and eternal life. If Jesus had indeed encountered these teachings, he would likely have rejected them. Nhat Hanh's Living Buddha, Living Christ discusses these differences, highlighting the distinct theological frameworks. Counterargument 3. Theological dissonance. The core teachings of Jesus emphasize salvation and resurrection, which starkly contrast with Buddhist notions of nirvana and the impermanence of self. Here's an example. The idea of a personal God who offers eternal life is central to Christianity, whereas Buddhism teaches that desire and attachment must be relinquished to achieve liberation. References. Books like The Essence of Buddhism by the Dalai Lama provide insights into these contrasting views. Counterargument 4. The Nicholas Notovich Incident. The story surrounding Nicholas Notovich's claims about Jesus traveling to Tibet is often dismissed as a fabrication. Example: Buddhism did not reach Tibet until the 7th century AD, long after Jesus' time. If he had traveled there, he wouldn't have encountered Buddhism, but rather the indigenous Bon traditions, making the entire narrative questionable. Reference: Critiques of Notovich's claims can be found in various scholarly articles, highlighting the lack of credible evidence. Key points to consider: for the theory, cultural exchange through trade routes, thematic similarities in teachings, influence of Eastern thought on early Christianity, philosophical approaches to suffering. Against the theory, lack of historical evidence for Jesus' travels, fundamental theological differences between Jesus and Eastern religions, theological dissonance regarding salvation and the self, discrediting of the Nicholas Notovich claims. So, what do you think? Did Jesus travel to India and learn from Buddhism? Or is this theory purely speculative? The interplay between these two rich traditions raises profound questions about the nature of wisdom and the origins of belief systems. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And remember to subscribe for more intriguing discussions